I'm Curtis Marshall, and you are watching the Best Practices Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Best Practice Show, where we take a look at the best business practices from the best dental practices all over. And if you're growing a dental practice, paying attention to the numbers, trying to run a better business, one of the metrics you might be focusing on is collections. And today we're going to talk about why collections is one of the worst numbers to track and pay attention to. Now, I hope your curiosity is going crazy with that, because the man, the myth, the legend that's going to be on, his name is Curtis Marshall. He's one of the chief engineers behind Dental Intel. He's going to show us why this is so important and how you can track some numbers that lend itself to better collections, but don't focus on the wrong thing. Our goal is to get you focused on the right thing. Now, a couple show notes. We are shooting this live on Facebook. So as you're watching, if you have questions, challenge us. Ask some tough questions, put them in the feed, and I'll dish them to Curtis while we have him on the show. Or if you're watching this later on, continue to add questions to the feed, because we want you to get the most out of this. Again, so grateful for all the suggestions and the follows and everything you guys are doing. We got a lot of stuff going on right now, up over 39,000 followers, over 150,000 of you have visited us on iTunes. And I don't have anything to say, but thank you. So my guest today, Curtis Marshall. So Curtis, I've had you on several times. I actually secretly, this is you're one of my favorite guests for a lot of reasons. Number one, you're fun, you're a great guy, you know a lot, but I learned so much. This is kind of like my CE behind the metrics, because you guys have a product called Dental Intel. You guys now have done over 6,000 installs. So data is really important running a dental practice. If somebody's watched this show or watching it now and they've never met you, they don't know what Dental Intel is, give us a little background on you and what Dental Intel is, and then we'll get into the topic.
Well, yeah, Kirk, I'm Curtis Marshall. I'm based out of Utah, born and raised out here. I'm just trying to follow my man Kirk with the hairdo. I got 3 beautiful girls. One of I think the most important things to note is that we're all individuals. We all have awesome lives that we can learn from each other. And so that's a little bit who I am. Always enjoy working with you as well. The thing that I work with and I'm able to help, in my passion, my energy, is to help patient care increase. And we do that through intelligence. Dental Intel is the leader in helping practices grow. It's a software-based program that you can get online, web-based software program that you can access from any location to know what to do in your practice to increase patient care and team performance. And so that's a little bit about us and myself.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, running a data, any kind of business, you have to have data, because data is not emotional. It removes all emotion, and it kind of shows you what's happened. Even when you look at the digital workflows at dentists, you can talk to a patient, you can listen to a patient, you know how important real information and stats are in assessing the health of a practice. And today we're going to be talking about collections and why it's the worst number to track. Now, let's clarify that title, because somebody might be watching this and go, hey, look, I've heard this all the time. It doesn't matter what you produce, it's what you collect. But clarify why we put that title in there and what you mean by that.
Oh, great point, Kirk. And the really reason why we want to be aware of this is that it is a lagging indicator. Now, there's 2 types of indicators, 2 types of numbers out there. There's leading, that help us to know what to do, and then there's lagging, stuff that happened in the past, right? I mean, for example, I graduated from high school and from college with not a 4.0. It was a 3, like 5, 6, something in that range, right? Mm-hmm. I can't change that.
Right.
That's what happened, right? Now, if I'm going to school and I now know exactly what to do to get my A, to get my 4.0, that's a leading indicator. A lagging indicator is what's already happened. So the two main numbers that offices have tracked for the last 100 years, and really they have, is production and collections. Mm-hmm. Yet both of those are so lagging. It's like, hey, you produced $100,000 last month. Let's do it again. Well, how am I going to all I did was collect from everybody who's in front of me.
Right.
So if I do that same thing and I collect everything that's in front of me and I don't hit my goal of $100,000, then guess what? Did I fail? Did I do good? Did I do bad on collections? With collections, if you're wanting to improve collections, it's not how much you collect, if that's what you want to be tracking.
Right. Now, you could obviously improve the effectiveness in which somebody collects money. We're going to talk about that.
That's a leading indicator right there.
That's a leading indicator. But at the end of the day, collections is a byproduct of all these things that come before it. And so you guys are big fans of this, is really coaching on leading indicators. So people are paying attention to what they have to do today, so that when you look at the end of the month, the end of the year, you go, wow, that's crazy. I can't even believe we did that much. Or I can't even believe how easy that was compared to how hard I used to work, which is really the big thing. And it goes back to the mission. You guys are all fanatics about how to get the team more engaged and how to increase patient care. So I have to say this because somebody might be watching this go, oh, this is all about money. No, it's not, because I've believed this for a long time. It's the byproduct. You do all of these things right, it lends itself to an amazing byproduct, and dentistry is an incredible profession if you can get all the leading indicators right. So let's go into this. You mention every single time there's a simple formula. And I'll preface this by saying, when I met you guys the first time, you're like, we have the formula. And I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. And then you showed me the formula. I'm like, dang, they nailed it. And it's really a very simple formula that everybody can get their brain around. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so there's the profitability formula, but really what we're going to talk about today is the collections formula, which is a segment of the profitability formula. And this formula for collections is not go collect $100,000. It is, how many visits did you have? Times how much did you produce on each visit? Times the collection percentage. That will give you your collections. If you want to know how to improve collections, you can improve one of those three things. I can either get more people in the office,
right,
or whatever's going on there, or I can increase my production per visit, meaning on those people who are coming, I'm doing more procedures. There are lots of different ways. We've talked about this in the past.
Right.
Or I can collect on more of the dollars I produce. Collect the percentage of what you produce.
Right. And let me piggyback on that, because this is a formula. Some of you might be watching and go, my practice is more complex than that. No, it's not, because this is a formula you could apply to any business. If I was working at Starbucks, we'd be watching how many visitors came through the day. Obviously, we can improve that number, and we can get people back. We can get new people in, and we can also look at average check average. You know, I worked at Applebee's in college. That's one of the things that we had at the end of I was a 3-time employee of the month. So every time I go by an Applebee's, I always say to the kids, I was 3 times. And they're like, you're so weird. But I loved it. And every time you check out, you'd have average check average. And you know what happens when your average check average goes up? You know, you get more tips, and all the other servers would be like, how do you do that? I'm like, just take good care of people, like really good care of people. And then it also lends itself to, did you collect all of that? Now, I want you to clarify, because I was a big fan of net collections percentage. You guys don't look at it necessarily as net collections percentage. Clarify that.
So there's two ways of looking at how much you collect, right? There's gross and net. And I'm so glad that you mentioned this. So there's gross and net. Gross is based off of, all right, I produced, let's make it simple, right? I produced $1,000. Out of that $1,000, how many dollars did I collect? Right? If I'm looking at the gross collection percentage, that is very important. Right?
Right.
So, but there's two factors here now. We have adjustments, and we have other things that are write-offs, adjustments and write-offs. If I produce $100,000 and I have to write off, $1,000, and I write off $500, how much can I collect now? If I have $1,000 and I write off $500,
you can write off $500.
What's that?
You'd write off half of it, $500, right?
Write off half, which means I'm able to collect $500.
Right.
Right? If you collect $500 of what you can collect, that's net.
Right.
So net is what you can collect. Did you collect everything of what you can collect? Gross is what did you collect of what you produced?
Right. Right. Now, let me clarify this because this is an age-old ad thing that's been going on. You want to really take a look at gross collections percentage. And when you presented this to me, I'm like, it's spot on because number one, it gives you the discrepancy between what you're truly producing and what you're collecting. And closing that gap over time is obviously going to increase your profitability. And with changing things in insurances, you need to know the gap. The other thing that we're noticing, and Curtis adds some clarity to this, is we're watching people not really enter in their true production numbers. Your sister comes in, you don't put it in the computer, or you're not putting in your full fee, you put in UCR, you're putting in other fees. When you have a discrepancy like that and you're able to look at it, and some of you are used to collecting 100% or 99% of your net collections, when you put it in, you look at your gross collections and it's 82% or 80%, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have chest pain, but you're also going to get substantial data on what you need to start improving so that we can close those two gaps. And I guarantee you, your bottom line gets way better. Agree?
Not just agree, it's proven. This is proven across the country that collection percentage increases when we know where we are. Right. Now, we've talked about this 100 times in the past as well. The easiest and best way to get to where you want to go, which is maybe $1 million in collections or whatever, is to truly know what's happening and not just say, well, I'm 100% of net collections.
Right.
Yeah, right. I hope you can collect 100% of what you can collect, right? But how much you're producing, how much are you collecting? And is that increasing or decreasing? That's your collection percentage.
Right.
Is whatever I sent to the ledger on production, gross production, how much did I collect of that gross production?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are some of the things that we should know maybe on a deeper level when it comes to collections percentage? I mean, obviously we want to take a look at the leading indicators, but if I'm a dentist, Curtis, and I'm watching this, I'm like, dude, you're so right. So what do I need to do? Where do I start?
Well, good question. First off, you want to know the truth, right? And I'll tell you, I was an office manager of a real successful office. If the dentist ever asked me, hey, how are we doing on collection? I'm like, we're collecting everything.
Right.
And I truly felt that way, right? But in reality, we're not there's something else going on.
Right.
So first off, you want to truly get the right number. So pull a report, find out exactly how much you produced and how much you collected.
Right.
Right? See what that gap is.
Right.
Right? And if those adjustments are because of insurance, or if those adjustments are because of write-offs, because you're doing 10% off for veterans or 10% off for senior citizens or 100% off for family members. Once you know where you're at, then you can improve.
Right.
Right? In fact, we ran into an office that saw that they were not writing off anything, and the doctor thought that they were. So what the doctor said was, you know what? Moving forward, anybody who comes in that goes to this school because they wanted to get more people from a school nearby them, we're going to give them 5% off.
Okay.
Right? Now, his collection percentage went down a few percentages, right? But what happened was he was collecting more. He was fine that his collection percentage went down because he was getting more visits and he was getting more production per visit.
Right.
Right? So when we look at that formula now, that collection percentage may go up or down, but if you don't know where it's at, you can't improve.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, the thing, having data, it calms you. It frees up brain space. You know exactly what's happening on a daily basis. You know how to improve them. And would you say this, do you encourage people to look at data on a daily basis with Dental Intel, or any practice? Are you looking at it in the morning huddles when you're looking at visits and production per visit? Give us some sense of that.
Good. So production per visit, absolutely daily. In the morning huddle, you should be looking at that. Collection percentage, though, should be looked at about weekly with your office manager or whoever's in charge of collections, as well as the owner of the practice. And it's not to say, hey, how dare you get so low on collection percentage? It's, where are we?
Right.
You assess, you report back, your office manager is able to report back to you or vice versa. And now it's a discussion of what changed? Why are we increasing or why are we decreasing? And then you can make adjustments.
Right.
But if I'm now reporting always, and I'm reporting, hey, doctor, this is actually, Kurt, can I give a quick story?
Please.
This was crazy. Okay. So I was looking at an office. So I'd look at hundreds of offices, and I was looking at office collection percentage. And I go, hey, doctor, something happened in May. Mm-hmm. What happened? And we're looking at just the numbers of how much he collected. Sorry, I thought I'd put that on mute. We were just looking at the numbers of collections, and he looked at the number of collections, dollars, just the dollars, and he goes, oh, we were low in May because I took 2 weeks off. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't care about that, doctor. That's fine that you're lower.
Yeah.
Your collection percentage was half. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So you not only did you produce less,
right,
because you took time off, but what you could collect on, you collected half. It's like, no, that's not right. We pulled it up, Sure enough, there was a huge case that hadn't been collected on, and he just thought the reason why it was down, because he looked at it at a glance, it was a lagging indicator. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was because I took 2 weeks off. Mm-hmm. And he didn't look at the percentage.
Right.
You must be looking at the percentage on a weekly-ish basis, if not more. Well, I don't know. There's no real reason to look at it daily, because it's you produce, and sometimes you collect back and forth of sending to insurance, or grandma's sending extra money over for their grandkid or whatever. But the collection percentage must be reported on. Otherwise, you could be into some deep, deep trouble.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to. Now, I know some people are going to be watching this going, okay, I'm so confused. I don't even know what I'm at. Like, you guys have an incredible tool. It's very simple. It sits as an app on most softwares, and it's called the Snapshot. And you've been so gracious to offer it to our clients. It takes 5 minutes. You plug it in, and you can actually see these numbers, the difference and discrepancy. You can even see it on your phone, right?
Absolutely. You can see it on your phone. We have an actual app from the Apple Store and the Android Store, as well as, like I said, we're the leaders cloud-based software that provides you with the numbers that you need to know.
Yeah. So there's over 6,000 practices on this?
Yep. Over 6,000 practices that are currently syncing with and able to grab the data from. So we also have benchmarks for you if you have questions on that. But we'll provide you, let me show you just one number, Kirk, if that's okay.
Right. And let me speak to this, because I'm going to just go to the part that people don't want to talk about. And you have to listen to this. If you're a private care clinician, this is important. One of your advantages in the future is you really know what you're doing with your businesses. And it's very easy to quickly complain about DSOs. The DSOs are embracing this technology at record levels, because now they can manage multiple locations. They know exactly what's going on in each op every single day, and they're taking low performers and coupling them with high performers. Somebody that's not really good in a department, they'll say, why don't you sit with Susie, because she does 99% in this department. Just watch what she does. You need the same advantage. Your advantage is going to be knowing how to manage your business in the future, and you can't do it on intuition. Trust me, I've owned a business for a long time. Intuition serves you only so well. You need data to take the rest of the way. So Dental Intel, I couldn't brag about it more. We love it. And you can check it out. It's actdental.com/snapshot. You can plug it in there. Curtis and his team will reach out to you. They'll do a free snapshot. And like I said, it only takes 7 minutes. Good stuff, buddy. So any last words of wisdom you have? You always give us some good stuff.
You know, this is probably the best thing. It's knowing where you're at today.
Right.
Those that know where they are today are far better to hit or get to where they want to become.
Right.
If you know where you are today, you can it's like a crystal ball of knowing what to do and how to get to the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Buddy, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for all your wisdom. You and I are going to have many conversations on different metrics because I am a geek of it. I love this stuff. So stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. Thank you guys for watching the Best Practices Show. If you enjoyed today, just do us a favor, hit the share button, share it with your friends. Keep sending us suggestions. And if you have tough questions that you have about data, dish them to me and I'll dish them to the man or his team. We'll get them straight from the people that are looking at all these indicators all the time. So until we see you next time, keep watching the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye.